thing I hate worse than a piece of fish is a late piece of tuna. Rob, what you mean?
Rob with two P.
So you know I got to lean in.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lean. If you are returning, and welcome to the Lean if it's your first time, I'm your host Cortez. I'm here with Chase, Sammy, and Asia on this lovely Sunday, and we're here to talk about the Sweet Life Los Angeles episodes 7 and 8. Let's lean in. So, if you're watching, hopefully you watch our first three recaps, which summed up episodes 1 through 6. I've seen some of the comments. Asia, they said you biased, child.
Okay, I am. So what? Like I know these people. Yeah, I'm biased because that's my opinion.
They said,
This
they
is
said what
yours.
you said about Becky. Listen, they said you're going too hard on Becky.
Okay.
She said, I said what I said. Hey, I
Yeah,
love
okay. And it's funny because I'm going to lean back in on Becky these next.
Oh, Becky. Oh, I
I
agree.
was just gonna say,
There
go
were
ahead,
some, let me just. I'm gonna start by saying this. They all of them are back on my goddamn nerves. All of them. These last episodes, I was just like, all of them. Some
People
more.
just mad. I go episode to episode.
mute it, Chase.
Yeah, I saw.
My bad.
He did it on purpose. So
No.
now we don't mean to see it.
No, and during the intro, your audio was on, so we could hear it. That's why I was trying to help you out. So you want to say like crazy? Hello.
I will say though, in Asia's defense, given everything that's taking place these last 4 episodes, she ain't tell one damn lie about Becky.
I didn't.
Yeah, I agree. So hopefully for those that feel that, but nonetheless, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna do this, and then we have episodes 9 and 10. The season's come to an end, and I'm quite sad because I just want more. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I just want, like, you know how to give Housewives 20 episodes? I could have had 20 episodes. This would have been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. I'm sure they would have gave us new drama. I don't know.
That's why they're so good. Imagine what we would have had to sit through if it was 20 and they had nothing going on. I feel like this is why it's so good, because we get everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's not spread out over 20 episodes.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, that's unrealistic for a show like
Before we start, I wanted to say the people have been hitting me up and saying that we've been too hard on Thailand.
Who said that? They've been hitting you up.
Honestly, I'll show the receipts. They said we've been too hard on her.
Oh no, not you getting bullied. Well, they ain't coming to me. Say they must look at you as a
I ain't been too hard on Thailand.
But guess what?
I'm about to
get ready because I'm finna go harder, bitch. Let's get into it. Okay.
You know what? The last 4 episodes for me, honestly, ain't really too much about Thailand. She got some things.
They're not.
But it's actually other people that's showing their ass and showing their stuff. It's so other people. So let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. And at the end of episode 6, which if you're watching, I hope you already watched. It was just myself, Chad, and Chase. We talked about the counselor session, and this is where Ty and Jay were at counseling, and they revealed their situation about their early parts of their relationship, revealing that she got pregnant and she decided to have an abortion. He didn't like that. She felt like he ghosted her. And then, she ended up finding out she was going to have twins. He felt like she should have still had the babies because they were twins. She felt like, nah, nigga, you already showing me you ain't going to be here in hard times. Why the hell would I consider having a baby with you, period? And so, they talk about it with the counselor. He feels like in the continuation of episode 7, they can go into it more. He feels like, the experience helped her boss up. He feels like, everything she went through that's how she's on, doing the legacy table, and she got the house party. Like, basically, it made her stronger. I'm like, okay. And so she basically revealed she felt alone, and clearly there's some issues there. It's kind of maybe fall into why she's not so eager to have a child. One reason, anyway. Surely she wants marriage. We learned that too, but that's probably one reason. And he feels like her not wanting kids means it feels like as if she doesn't value what he wants. So I know that we heard from Chase in the last one, but Sammy and Asia, what are y'all thoughts on this when we move on with the episode? Because it does continue in this, Asia. I'm curious to hear what you got to say.
He needs to shut the fuck up. Show his true colors. Like at the end of the day, he showed his true colors when she got pregnant initially. So you can't double back and be like, oh, it was 2 of them. Like that's a blessing. Nigga, where were you when it was 1? Get the fuck out of here. Go away. That's all I got to say about that. Everything else, like I think he he sounds stupid. Like he sounds.
I don't think he knows.
You know what? I don't think he knows he sounds stupid. I think he really feels that he has the right to want these babies from her, and it makes more sense why she's where she is with it, knowing that she had to have an abortion and by herself at that because he wasn't around. I was glad when she told him when he was like, you know, being that it was 2, you didn't think to change your mind. Well, had you been there, I probably would have reconsidered, but you weren't. So here we are now. He sounds absolutely ignorant to be trying to pressure this woman into having a baby, given what has already taken place with them when they came across the situation before. I'm not mad at Thailand for that at all.
Yeah. And no wonder she act the way she act because she's been dealing with this motherfucker. Like, can't not deal.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I really feel like once this episode aired, I'm like, oh, I think she projects her anger that she has like internally on everybody when one ticks her off, and I think he's part of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's a deeper conversation because why? Are you afraid to lose him because you feel you can't do better?
Who said you said the last time, right?
I said that the last time, but as Asia says this, that's the perfect illustration as to why I said it. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't just because of that. You know, that is it. But there's also more chipping away at her. Like, and if you feel like you can't do better than him, why do you feel like you can't do better than him, baby?
Well, she said she had abandonment issues. She doesn't want to, mirror what she went through in her childhood. And she said she doesn't think the baby needs to come until her and Jay have it together. And clearly, they do not have it together at all.
No.
But she is a very loyal person because she's committed to those horrid, wretched wigs, darling.
They got what I was saying. Did they get better? They didn't get better. No, they kind of was. They got flatter and.
They was a little stringier.
They got real stringier. Like a little stringier. Others were full. They just were very frizzy and but they said we gotta stop being hard on Ty. So I'm gonna start with the wigs.
We on her wigs now, not her.
That's an extension of her.
That's a part of
That's
her.
the wrong extension. She needs to get better wigs. It's that simple. It's that simple. She needs better wigs.
Oh man.
Well, that's exactly what
I will say. I am very glad to see them, a black couple, in therapy for their situations. I was glad that they did a lot of that throughout this.
Well, let me ask you this: in your 20s, is that like a good thing or a bad thing to be going to therapy with your mate?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a necessary thing for them.
The 8-point child.
Yeah, you and your 8th grade boyfriend should have went to therapy. Like, always.
Okay. All right, let's move on past this thing because that was kind of 6 and 7, but it's good to hear y'all thoughts, Sammy and Asia. Shout out for the last one. So the next scene, we get a scene where Ty, Candace, and Amanda. Candace. Actually, I don't understand how Cheryl got the opening credit spot. It really should have been Candace because Candace is all up and through this damn season, and at the end, baby, she does some shit. I was like, ooh. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But they're talking. Ty is talking about Jalen wanted a child. He's talking to Candace. And let me ask y'all a question. I can't remember. Candace and Ty are like really good friends, right? That's the one from the trip last year, right?
Yeah.
How far back does their relationship go? I need to.
I believe it was years as of last.
Yeah, she said it's one of her best friends. I don't know how far.
That's what I remember saying.
She said it's one of her best friends.
We'll come back to that later. So when in episode 10 or 9 or 10, but I wanted to clear it because I can't remember. So Candace reveals her and Kaylin's relationship. That she talks about they went on this business trip and he was playing with the idea with her having his last name on the for the thing everybody was calling her Mrs. whatever his last name is.
Horton. Horton, Candace Horton.
Candace Horton. And so then she talks about that, she got off birth control for him and with the idea, but basically every time she brings it up, he brings up marriage and stuff like that, he kind of strays away and kind of deflects and stuff like that. And so basically she said that, he wanted her to stop taking birth control because he wanted her body to be ready. And so, that's going to come back up later. We're going to revisit that. But what were y'all thoughts on that? Just hearing that part first, because this is obviously they're giving us pieces and pieces from this point onward of Kaylin and Candace. But Asia, I'm gonna ask you first as a woman. What the hell you thought?
He's just toxic cousin number 2, Jalen and Kaylin. Like they both toxic. I will say, like, yeah, when you like in love and stuff, somebody's like, well, I want married, last name, babies. Like, you like, okay, let me get ready. But baby, like, you got enough time. You got a time limit on how long you're gonna be able to string me along, and it ain't 4 years. It's 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's stupid for going along with it for this long. But I love
4 years, right? 4 years.
4.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's too long.
I'm surprised she ain't pregnant.
Cause she says she off her birth control, but she been taking it. She ain't.
Cause how the hell is she not pregnant? Yeah, that's 4 years and you ain't pregnant yet.
Because I know you're not saying that KT ain't dropping it off of them draws. Because if I was Candace, he would be dropping it off of my draws.
Yeah, he would be pulling the panties down regular. So
I'll be pregnant, boots.
So she's still on birth control. Because I did that in college. I saw somebody, I took my birth control out. I showed them I got it put in for 3 years straight. Yeah. Yep. You want getting me?
Yeah. I have a question about Candace for clarity, for my sake. Did she say that she was 25?
I don't remember her saying her age.
Baby, you got to lay off them cigarettes.
All right. Sammy, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to echo you, Asia. I get being in love, I get being smitten, but she seems like she seems very smart. So to be moving not smart like this is kind of like the girl. He does not want to marry you, and I think she's gonna use.
She knows it.
She's allowed him to get comfortable. Like you let 4 years go by, and now you want to pressure him into marrying you. That probably should have been a conversation back then when he started talking about getting ready for the baby. You probably didn't want to mention, well, what about marriage? But she's let it go on this long, and now he is just like, oh, we can get there when we get there. But right now, let's do the baby thing. She got some blame to take in it, but I guess now she's ready to be married. So she's going to use the baby as her. Well, if you don't do this, we ain't doing this. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of resentment there eventually on both ends.
Yeah.
Well, I'm applaud her for putting her foot down. You know what I mean? I think that
I do too. But I mean, is she gonna make him put on protection, or is she gonna just give in to that too? Because that man ain't putting on no condom.
He don't need to. She's already on birth control.
Well, lying about it. Pull out game, that's good.
Stop talking about him, Lord.
He was playing that football. I don't think he can go.
Finish.
We'll get to that later, Sammy.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I lost my voice. I'm working on it, you guys. What I hated about, basically to sum that conversation up, it was everything good between me and you. I mean, no, why don't we have a baby? Well, I feel like there's issues and things that we need to work on before we have a baby. What do you mean issues and things that we have to work on before we have a baby? We 4 years in. I love you. You know how I feel about you. Da, da, da. I want to get married. Well, before we get married, there's issues to work on. I was like, I know. Are we watching the same thing?
But did y'all hear? So if you listen to the conversation, it sounds like she has an issue with spazzing out on him, maybe going, like, you know, say for example, they get into an argument. She may say some things. She may sound like she goes off because he said that she was in therapy or something like that. She said she was in therapy.
She said she was.
And so I feel like there's something, whether it's physical or verbal abuse, that maybe she gets when she gets to argument. And so I'm not excusing what he said, but I just kind of caught that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's something.
Yeah. And speaking to him and just watching that conversation, I can definitely see how she would get frustrated and go the fuck off. Because he sat there. I think it's more so her just cussing him out or something. But she said something about along the lines.
You don't think she'd be
well, because he said that she gets mad and she storms off. So she said, I leave because I'm trying to prevent saying something to you that I would regret. But speaking to him, just watching
season,
that, hell yeah, she be cussing that man off because he said that she would say one thing and then he said the same thing right back to her. As if are you not listening to her? I find myself literally telling the TV like, boy, fuck you. This girl is really clear as day, telling you what she needs, and you are sitting here just playing with her mind. It pissed me off. So I can see why she would cuss him out and go on to the next room.
Well, Cortez, her last season, she was unhinged on the trip. I understand the trip.
That's what I'm saying.
She was unfucking hinged.
She was.
But I'm going to still give her credit because she said she was going to therapy, and that is not the Candace that we've gotten at all this season.
Ain't.
So
that was Candace on Tequila. I really don't even think that was that bad.
Can't hope
Tequila
that
Candace. Remember we kept calling her that? Tequila Candace?
Yeah, that was just Candace.
Casamigo Candace.
Yeah. I ain't mind her. Like,
I enjoy her this year. I'm glad
I've
enjoyed
her this year.
She need Amanda Peach. She's actually become my favorite this season. I go ahead and say it now. Candace is my favorite of the season.
Candace is up there because Miami just.
I don't fuck Miami.
Let's save it.
We're gonna save it because I don't fuck with her.
Just a quick question, just from let's see who wants to answer this question. Just one person. How do you feel about Bree and PJ? Do you think it's weird that they're still so close, that Bree really kicks in and fucks with PJ so much, considering that her bestie is Becky and is supposed to be so hurt by this? Who wants it?
Not me.
Becky be getting on her nerves.
Not only that, weren't they dating first, and then Becky started dating him after they went on a date or two?
I think so.
PJ
No, that was the light skinned guy.
But PJ liked Bree. If they said
PJ liked Bree. Okay, thank you.
Well, yeah, he did like Bree, but Bree has friends on him years from now. So I think it's safe to say that there's nothing happening there. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Maybe they
just trying to talk.
Well, no.
Okay, so then we get this scene with Myami, Becky, Cheryl, and Robb with 2Bs. They're like swimsuit shopping and stuff like that. Nice bodies. Bree brings up the comment that we absolutely hated from like episode 5, I believe. The manipulating comment that Ty said that she was manipulating her or something like that when they were in New York. And I'm glad that Bree brought it up because, Bree can be very ditzy and some things just fly over her head, but she did bring it up. Sounds like this season, despite having some setbacks, she seems to have a little bit more awareness and she seems to try to stand up for herself. I think this season was all about her trying to get that type of strength because it's some of it. I don't know. We're gonna revisit her too, but yeah. And so then they start to, with the comment she brings up, everyone in the group, I can say excluding Myami, but Cheryl and Becky, they kind of start to see like, well, maybe there is an issue with Ty. You know what I'm saying? Like with that comment, because they all felt like it was a weird comment, just like we felt. And then Cheryl is talking about her issues with Ty, and Robb with 2Bs kind of plays devil's advocate. And just basically says, I wouldn't have no problem with it. It wouldn't be an issue with me. And Cheryl is looking at him, kind of crazy. Now, I will say Cheryl gave this comment that just took me over. It's very my man. But she said, people need to understand when they're talking about my man, it sends me to a place to where I don't want to go from 0 to 10. And I said, that's me. And Sammy, too. I know Sammy like that too. We've been very my man. But
I'm working on it.
Any thoughts on this scene right here with the girls? And Cheryl really was not feeling Robb with 2B. She was kind of like, your energy is like not right. And so any thoughts on this scene?
I think it's funny how Cheryl doesn't like one, Cheryl's little trinkets being in that shop is stupid to me. Like, I don't care. If y'all wanted to set the scene up, y'all could have set it up somewhere else. But I think the only thing where I didn't like Cheryl is because like he was just giving a different perspective and you mad at it. Now his comments, like he was still kind of a little going back and forth with Bree and Becky, and it was like, all right, let's bring it back in. We played nice. But he was just like, she said sociopath, like I wouldn't give a fuck about that. And because it's not that deep. And she was like, well, that's my man. Sociopath is not that big of a deal to me.
Maybe to them out there in California, that's just something you cannot say.
I said that.
That's really specific.
or it could have been more so because it came from Tyler, who was his close friend.
I mean, those are words that you want to stay away from because they are, clinically acclaimed words that people, I can see it, you know what I'm saying? But me personally, I'm like you, Asia. I'd be like, sociopath, bitch, you crazy too. Oh, you know, that's me.
Oh, she got cussed out.
I'm a sociopath and you bipolar.
Right. You know, you
with a bad wig caught to the side.
Yeah,
right.
like
So that's just not that. It don't bother me.
That's
you know
it's a lot of words that hurt, and that is not one.
Yeah, because I could have. You called me that, I probably would have called you something that was gonna make you feel why you shouldn't call me that.
I mean,
I'm just so disappointed.
Versus what Ty said to Rob.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Rob. She said a lot to Rob, baby.
She eviscerated them.
Sociopath. Sorry.
Yeah, it ain't that big a deal. Like the shit she was saying to Rob about Rob, like that's like a oh my god. And he don't even care. He's over it.
He over on Comedy Tours, on Comedy Central.
But this scene again showed Rob with 2 B's overshooting his mark. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get into the dinner and all those things because I felt this. Huh?
I says that is a late gal. I'm sorry.
Oh no, she's a late piece. She's a late woman. That's an old late woman down there, honey. But I can kind of say, because I do have opinions about what happens at dinner later, but what I would say here is if they did not want to film with him, they wouldn't have all been there. You know what I mean? So I do think for some of the girls, like I feel like for Bree, maybe even Becky to an extent, they did try to work with this man as far as in a professional reality TV capacity. Like, he's doing too much, but we're going to try. Maybe that was his first scene, so it's the jitters. But this scene, at this point, you're establishing yourself as an unwarranted, unnecessary ass bitch. Like, have your opinion.
You're talking about this scene because it's the second time he was shot.
Yeah, this is
at the little shop.
No, what I was saying, like, you know, when people come in their first scene when they went to brunch, they kind of may do too much and may not do enough, and that's because they don't know really what they're doing. But, you know, the second scene, the fact that they chose to film with him again was like, we get it, we want to work with you, you know, we need his voice on the show, da-da-da. Because one thing I do enjoy about him is that he does ask the questions in the moment, in front of the person, with the 2 people there who need to talk about it. And a lot of people on this show don't do that, right? So I do enjoy that aspect, but it's just like really unwarranted and like super bitchy how he continues to push the envelope and push the mark for no reason.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, and it could be because I'm biased because I like Gerald and Gerald, but in that moment I can appreciate him having a different outlook on it. But while she's sitting here and she's saying this hurt his feelings because Ty's his friend, I'm not fucking with it. I don't care that you wouldn't have cared. Because we're talking about me and how I feel and how we're supposed to move forward when we get around this whole group in Mexico. So you and your, it wouldn't have bothered me, and maybe y'all are just scared of her. He was already making a lot of side remarks. That's
the thing. I think he speaks at the wrong time. I feel like some moments, like he just kind of, and he know what he doing. We see,
but no shade. Are y'all scared of her? Because it do give that. It give that y'all scared of her.
Yeah, and that may be true. But when we in this moment, I'm talking about me, Gerald and Ty, like I don't care that you would have been bothered.
But we also we don't know you, so why does it matter?
Yeah, like so let's shut up. But I blame that's something else. Like that's on Miami.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got some more to talk about him. So let's talk about they go on the trip. First of all, the room situation is already one thing. You know, Gerald and Cheryl got a room with a career, which he felt some way about. I'm like, child, okay. But Myami and Becky ended up getting the bunk beds. So mind you, Myami did not get a good room this time. She already had she didn't plan the trip last time, but she had the there was her Airbnb. She picked the house. I found the house. She didn't get a good room. So they get to dinner. Everybody got their all white on. Everybody's there. Marcus is there. AQ is there. So the singles are AQ, Marcus, PJ, Becky, Bree is there. Patir is coming. And so I think and then Robb with 2 B's. Myami brings Robb with 2 B's as her official guest, although she's dating AQ. So we're at dinner. Ty, knowing damn well she owed this man an apology, she asked Gerald, how you feeling? You know what I'm saying? And he just basically, you know, he responds and just saying that it's good to be everybody around, things a little different. And so Ty goes around the table, she gives an apology to basically everybody with the exception of Gerald. She gives an apology, like literally everybody at the table for something, you know what I'm saying, except for Gerald. And I'm just like, well, damn, you know, where's the apology for Gerald? I don't think she really apologized to PJ really either, but I mean, that's a different conversation. So then Gerald talks about, not necessarily being there with Cheryl, how things were a little different. And so once Robb of Two B's hears that, he says, "Oh, so you're Mr. Sociopath." And I just was like, "Oh, I couldn't." I had to wind it back because I was watching, but I was like looking to the right or something. And I was like, "Ooh." So Gerald, is looking very like if he was white, he would have turned red actually, because he actually was quite embarrassed, and I actually expected him to like pop off, but he really didn't. He kind of just brushed to the side, you know what I'm saying? And Myami is laughing or whatever, and she's still, kind of laughing or whatever. But Ty is the person that speaks out. So Ty is speaking out. Jay is trying to stop her. And Jay is like, he's not talking to you, baby. She's like, but I'm talking to him. At this point, I'm like, oh God, Wi-Fi Ty, she about to boss up because you know how she is or whatever. And so Robb of 2B speaks out again. He's like, this is the second time. Like, it's the second time that y'all have slighted her with the room. Do y'all not fuck with her? And Ty feels very strong that basically, why is he speaking on things that are going? This brings Gerald into the conversation. Gerald kind of pipes in. It's like, this ain't got shit to do with you, and it got shit to do with you. And they're all coming at Robb. Myami is defensive of Robb and saying like, he's defending me. He's defending me. So you guys should not be coming at him. And no, Ty said, no, fuck that. We are coming for him, literally. And so from this whole moment, Gerald addresses Robb and saying they got shit to do with him. And it turns into a whole moment to where, Ty says, if he wasn't properly briefed, before he came here, then I don't give a fuck what he has to say at the table. And honestly, I'm gonna say I definitely sided with Ty on this moment, and everybody else at the table. But I want to hear y'all thoughts on this moment because Myami is defending him and saying that he is defending her, alluding to the fact that nobody else has her back, although she's on the trip with them. And then Robb is just really not giving the fuck he doing. Robb of 2B's is not giving the fuck he doing what he want to do, say he want to say. So what were y'all thoughts on this whole scene that happened? Chase, go first, because I know behind them glasses, it's
my
a lot.
eyes is back up, baby. Just rolling, baby. Rolling. Good behind me. Right. Rolling.
Go ahead.
Episode 2 times since I've been back in Atlanta, and my opinion kind of is where it was. 2 things can be true. Yeah, you the outsider. We don't know you, but it's not like he was lying. He wasn't speaking no untruth. It may have been uncomfortable, but somebody needed to say it. Preferably, it would have been Myami. But I have been in rooms with a group of people and felt like on the outside of that group, right? I think everybody's kind of felt that way in the past. Honestly, he made the joke. The joke is a joke. I wouldn't have had no joke to make it. Tyler didn't say the shit, right? So at the end of the day, you're mad because I'm an outsider making a joke. But what you should be mad about as well is the fact that this bitch is talking shit about you and it's not addressed. The camera crew didn't even know that she wasn't going to apologize to Gerald. They thought that she was apologizing to Gerald. The camera crew was like this, and she was like, and Bree, I'm so sorry. She switched. When I tell you, she cleared the room with that move. She cleared Gerald with that move, and I think that incensed Gerald even more. I get what y'all are saying about him being an outsider, but at the end of the day, he's on the show. At the end of the day, he's at the table. At the end of the day, this is the 3rd trip that Myami's gotten shitted on, because she got shitted on last year, and she got shitted on her own trip, and now she's getting shitted on this trip. So, I think that what he has a problem with is reeling it in. Like, as far as like I said, I think he was right, but at the point of offending the entire fucking table, maybe you could say, well, I apologize for offending you guys, but I'm just really passionate about my friend because I love her and I know that she's been through hell with you guys. So I'm just, sleeping with one eye open. So I do apologize, Gerald, for coming at you. I thought it was like a joke. I didn't know it was water. It wasn't water under the bridge at this point because it's been so long. So maybe you guys do need to have the conversation. That's how you pivot it back to the bitches where it's supposed to go. And another thing, and we're going to see it a little bit later in episode 8, 2 things can be true at the same time. Yeah, they working together, but for some reason, outside of his shady comments, it still gave me like, we tolerating this gay boy, and he doing the most. so we don't fuck with him. Like the men at the table. Only person I felt like was okay with his presence as a man being there was Jalen, because he just as messy as she is. Because Jalen was like getting his life at the other end of the table. But like Gerald bossing up out of nowhere, I ain't never really seen Gerald boss up. He didn't boss up on 18 and act like he was KT and act like he was gonna be KT ass. Did he?
He did actually.
No, he went.
He gave what was necessary for that moment.
He gave what
He
was
was
necessary.
precise with KTN.
But he wasn't acting like he was going to come across that table. There's a difference. You jump back
He
before you think
didn't
you can
lean
beat. Yeah, he leaned in.
Okay, let's hear from Sammy.
I
don't like that.
The although what Rob was saying was true, it was unwarranted in that moment. He was completely out of line, and I was 100% with Thailand. The issue for me came from Myami. Did you bring him to be this messy person, or did you bring him to have your back? First off, you coming on this trip with us because you got comfortable with us. So what the fuck? Who needs to have your back for what reason? I thought we got past all this. So for him to sit there, for her to sit there and let him throw that back out there, now you have placed her back into the position where they're going to be looking at her with the side eye because I thought we were cool. Now you got your homeboy here defending you when we have supposed to got past all that. Him calling Gerald Mr. Sociopath, he knew exactly what he was doing. They just was in that damn bikini shop, and Cheryl was speaking on how it was an issue for them. So I feel like it puts Gerald and the man in a tight spot because if they react, then it's coming off homophobic or it's coming off some other type of way. I felt like whatever Gerald would have gave him in that moment, he would have deserved, regardless of what it would have been, because he had no reason to make that type of remark. Yes, Thailand shouldn't have said it, but what is your purpose of bringing that up now at this table trying to be an asshole about it? The only thing that I will agree with is the room situation. Being that Amanda was one of the ones who took one of the good rooms back in New York City, this was her trip, she should have made it a priority for her to make sure that Myami did get a better room for this trip. But I mean, she didn't, so it is what it is. But Rob was out of line, and I wish somebody would reach across the table and slap the shit out of his ass when he was over there making all them cute ass remarks. That's what I wanted.
Slapped him, anybody.
Dead in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I just don't like. I don't like people having people do their dirty work, and that's what it came off as.
That's what it gave.
That's what she was doing.
Huh?
That's what she was doing.
Well, but see, that's not that's the thing. So that's Myami's fault. Honestly, yep. she's the reason, and this is why, you know what I'm saying. I don't like the whole, like, I have a lot of female best friends, but personally, I don't like the whole I have a gay friend. You know what I'm saying? Because this is another rendition of that in my eyes personally, and she basically used him in a sense, and then tried to defend him by saying, "Oh, he's coming for me. Y'all don't have." But like, girl, like Sammy said, like, you have made up with these people. You're putting yourself back in that place as an outsider because you have your friend like it. And so, like, he was doing her dirty work. He knew exactly what that word meant. It don't matter. Like, if you want to be messy, say you've been messy. But don't try to act like, oh, I'm trying to defend my friend. No, you were on camera. You were trying to be messy. You called out what you called out. But I just don't like someone doing somebody else's dirty work, because then I got to get you. And then I'm going to get you. I've been there before, as I mentioned, and I just don't like that. Like, I can't give Robb with two B's any grace. Like, I do agree with the whole, like, it puts them in the situation, because it don't matter what could have been said, it would probably came out homophobic. But I don't feel like they were giving that vibe. I feel like even before the table, like, we didn't see any issue. Like, when nobody like said anything with him, if it had been weird eyes before, I think maybe. But at the table, he created the spotlight on him. He made the spotlight be on himself. So whatever he came his way, it was well deserved. And it's just unfortunate. It's the same as a man coming for a woman. If a woman coming for a man, it's like he gonna always seem aggressive coming for her. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, he's a man. But if she does something to him, he has every right to say something back or whatever he needs to do. To me, it's the same thing. He just happened to be gay. Sorry, Robb. I can't defend you, but
he didn't care either. He was going at Amanda with her boyfriend sitting right there, getting into it with Ty, with Janice sitting right there. That man didn't care what happened. He was enjoying that camera being on.
I think the only thing that threw me off was when I saw, like, Gerald appear like he wanted to lunge. I just, if I see something that's out of your character from what we've seen, then I have to question, why are you doing it? That's all. He addressed him. I feel like if you say anything, then you can also be addressed as well. Don't get me wrong. And so I'm here for all of that. Ty pop off like she always pop off. That's not nothing new to me. You know what I'm saying? But where it kind of got weird was the, like, oh, is Gerald bucking up? Because Gerald has had plenty of opportunity to buck up over the last season, and he has not done it. So
that was his first time getting booked.
I think he's just one of them don't start none won't be done because he was very firm with KT when Marcus was in Cheryl's face at the watch out player. I think if you don't bother him, he's not going to bother you. But in this moment,
he was caught off guard. Like it was an off guard moment.
Like it's already an issue for him.
So situation, he was able to walk into it knowing like we talking about this. Who would expect some random person that I don't even know to call out some drama between me and somebody else? It's like
that's what made it fucking hilarious. I'm sorry.
No, it was. I cracked up. But it
was just
my
like,
mouth.
Oh my God.
No, I definitely gagged.
I thought it was funny as hell. I wish it would have just ended there. Like I don't have a problem with him making that joke and being like, "All right, shoot, my bad. All right, okay, I'm done." But he kept going and going and going. I was disappointed in Tylin for booking up because it's like you just sat here and said like you were going to make an effort to change, an effort not to be going hard on people, even though she wasn't necessarily.
Oh, she said her friends. She said her friends.
Ty is consistent. We can't say.
Yeah. And I'm like, you saw her man. Jalen was like, "Yo, let him do." And she was like, "No," and I'm like, "All right, bitch. Well, then you just gonna be the same person. Like you don't give a fuck at this point. Like not that I'm mad at her message or anything like that, but I'm like, this was the perfect time for you to be like, you know what? Let me start taking these steps back and let people deal with their own shit and me not put myself in it and get all rah and fuck you and your mama too. Like, you know.
Well, she didn't throw any insults at him. She just basically was like, we don't give a fuck about you. We don't know you.
Well, I was disappointed in how she was treating Myami because at the end of the day, Tylin, Miami's situation is fucked up again.
But you know, I feel like, but the thing is, for Ty's defense, Ty has actually been more than welcoming to Miami since the very beginning.
And I think that's
what last year's trip. And so I feel like for her, like her and Miami, they never had no issue. She felt the way about her not getting the room last time. So Ty can't always, you know, come to, because it's gonna look like she just followed, and that ain't her real good friend like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? She's cool with her, but I feel like she came in Miami out of because she was more so upset because, like, bitch, I've been on your side. Here you go with this. You got this person talking like this towards us. Like, come on now, you know. And it looked that way. But moving into
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, episode 8 is the same thing. The continuation of the dinner. You know, Robb to be starts off by saying like, "Are you here with like? Is this where you want to hang here with these people?" Like, it got to be excessive. You know what I'm saying? And he actually ended up getting into it with AQ and told him, "I'll beat your ass." He told him, and I was like, "Now I'm gonna tell you something right here. They edited something out. I don't know what.
Because how they get into it?
How did they get into it? And what the hell did he say? He said, "I beat your ass," because anytime somebody here, "I beat your ass," it don't just end on no.
It was too cool after that. Like,
they edited that Gerald Marcus scene too when he got between him and Cheryl.
Yeah,
something happened.
Yeah, something happened. I want to know what happened. I mean, AQ is lame, so whatever. But I feel like Robb probably would be.
Probably would.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do you see why? I kind of feel like there's something else. Like, because even with AQ, it kind of felt like
he, you know, him. I would say with him, it gave a little bit of that. I see it because that's from him, just because I don't really know him like that, and I just. But we were also confused as to why they were. I don't know what happened over there. I think he.
But he also rocked with them people too, though. He rocked with them people. He is actually in their circle, so he may have been the only one to voice it, but definitely there's been a conversation.
But see, that's my thing. AQ ain't in that damn circle. I mean, AQ's trying to get into that circle.
That was his. Not that circle.
Yeah, that was AQ.
Wait. No, so let me
enter myself and let me know I'm riding for them. That's what that was.
AQ hang out with both sides.
He hang out with them off camera. Now he may not be in the circle as far as the reality show is concerned, but in real life, he hang out with them. He fuck with them.
Well, see, this is where it bothered me because when they did get into it, Miami was like getting all hot and bothered over AQ going off on Robb or 2Bs. And I'm like, this is supposed to be your best friend that you brought.
That's defending you.
He was defending you, but now you all hot and bothered because you're like a man to stand up for you. And I'm like, see, this is why I don't like these type of relationships.
She's a weird ass bitch.
She's toxic. She's toxic in always, like always. It ain't even like relationships. She just has Miami girl.
She's a weird ass bitch. She's
bad.
Weird.
In this moment, I was like, okay, like,
yeah.
Thoughts,
because
Asia?
who would go?
What the fuck was that? Like, it's giving Bird. It's giving what I thought she was last season, but we never got the opportunity to see how stupid she was because everybody was like jumping on her, and she's a whole villain.
She's a nasty woman.
Really is.
She's a whole villain, and we finally get to see it because people ease the fuck up off of her, and that's why I'm like, I'm no shade, but it's a good thing Robb did come. Like, Robb came and he got a few things accomplished. And he finally let us see who Myami really is. She's not sitting back and being passive. She's showing her bird shit. She's showing her pick-me shit. She's showing her whole shit. And it's one thing to be a hoe and be great at it. It's another thing to be a toxic hoe. And that's what we're saying she is. She's a toxic
Well, she don't have sex. She's celibate. She ain't a hoe.
She's a toxic hoe. Being a hoe, sex is one of 5 things that go into hoe.
Can you give me another 4? Offline.
Okay, I'll get to
you. See, she leaned in. She
This is a PG-14 show.
Wait, listen. Let me tell you what she also pissed me off with that. Ooh, and yeah, because I love that. And ooh, and bitch, if you don't sit your wannabe Jessica Rabbit ass down somewhere, oh, like, who is this bitch? I don't like her. At the point that you would dismantle all the progress that you've made for a little chaos. And you know, I never really liked Myami to begin with. I'm gonna be honest with you, though.
See, that's sorry because when she first came in,
we've gotten to know her this season. Last season, it was an automatic. She's cool because what the girls did to her, but now
she was also.
What we gonna get into it. We got Myami there's a lot that happens with her on this trip. You don't get into it.
She wasn't innocent the whole year.
She never was innocent, but is she still in the same place she was in last year? To be honest with me, but she has a little more foot in the group, I guess. So at the end of the dinner table to finish out this scene, Candace comes to the defense of Myami, saying like, you know, this is kind of happening again. And Amanda sitting at that side of the table, she said, I ain't giving up my room. I ain't
bad, but not that bad.
She said, no.
She's like, that's really what she looked like. She's like,
no. I'm not giving up my room.
Yes, that's exactly what she
the only way I can get some camera time so you can get it, love.
And so that's how the scene they end kind of just on this note of I don't know how to end it, child. It was a weird ass note. It was a lot of chaos, but I guess it comes back up later. Moving into the next wait,
we have to acknowledge how Mark is taking upon himself to let Myami have his room.
Oh, that's what happened then. Okay.
Yeah. In that moment, I said,
that's some player shit right there.
In that moment, I said,
they should have made sure she had a room. Like, how did he get a room?
Marcus got a whole ass room,
and you put her in the bunk bed. Like, that's some foul shit. I'm sorry.
It was on purpose.
Why AQ didn't invite her to stay with him in his room or wherever he was staying?
Why is she not in the room with AQ? They're supposed to be dating. Or why her and Robb or 2B's not in the room? I don't get it, child. It was weird. The room situation was just stupid. So after that, Marcus is kind of like eyeing Myami. You know, he's saying like, that's his homeboy, but they both single. So I mean, whatever. That comes up later. Myami talks about being celibate. She talks about that she doesn't have sex. I'm like, girl, please, somebody eating a cat. And somebody doing a child. And we move into the next day, and Patiri and Kyle show up. Now, when Patiri and Kyle show up, PJ already acting kind of weird because Kyle is the guy. That's not Dimples, is it? That's the opposite.
No, it's not Dimples, unfortunately.
It's the other one.
Yeah.
But it's the one that she said that would actually be best for her because Dimples is her usual type. And so they show up. PJ acting weird. They sit down like at lunch and have like shots and stuff like that. And Robb being messy again. Robb is just like, how you feel, I can't think exactly word he said, but he was like, how you feel knowing that like she's like something about the type, right? What was it?
He treats her better than you did.
That's what it was. Being messy. And PJ, getting all red in the face and yada yada yada.
Because he asked how did she pick these men? Because Kyle and PJ are not the same type. That's what PJ was like. You don't even know either one of us to say what type we are. So what the fuck are you talking about?
You are
it's obvious though.
I forgot about that part.
I mean, PJ was right, but it's obvious. I'm looking at the two of them. Look at him and look at you. Y'all completely different.
But he was just wearing Becky out like 2 episodes ago. it was oddly placed, you know. So now he defended Becky. So Becky loving the attention,
and now she loving it.
Well, yeah, Becky loving it, but Kyle is kind of uncomfortable slightly or whatever. It was a weird situation. But any thoughts on this scene?
I liked the call out. It was maybe, I don't know if it was wrong place, wrong time, but I liked the call out. Like
that was messy. Yeah.
Rob thinks she Kenya Moore.
Yeah.
It's very LaToya forever. That's what
yes. Because I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't even have thought about it like that. Like, oh shit. I was just be like, oh, she brought an NFL player. Like, that's if I was PJ, I'd be like, now she got this Bill NFL player in my face.
Oh, he played NFL?
He played for the Dallas Cowboys. Or he did.
He today?
Marcus, right?
Maybe last year. No, not Marcus. Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah, he played for Dallas. Or if he don't this year, it was like maybe last year or the year before. He played for them for like 2 years.
Baby, they out there just fumbling the boys. Ooh, Becky and Bree just
bitch. They feel on the boys, honey, and fumble every one of them.
So if I was PJ, I would have been thinking what Rob said. Like, so I don't care.
I can't.
I just high-fived excuse me. Ooh.
Well, I mean, a couple things happened on this episode for like some bigger scenes. You know, Becky ended up she ended up apologizing to Kyle because, you know, for kind of making him feel away. Do you think that was warranted? That was needed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Candace and KT have a little conversation where they are talking. So Candace is basically, she's like, where are we at? What's going on? In other words, did you bring a condom or whatever? And she said otherwise. No, she's locking her coochie down. I have a problem with that just because I don't see no issue with that, but it's like, girl, if you don't give it to him, somebody will. I'm just saying.
She ain't locked that thing down.
Y'all think she lied.
She should have did. As soon as she took her bra off, she should have just had Trojans falling out the bra, let them know she not playing with her. But she ain't locked that damn thing down. She gave that thing up. I would have.
They definitely fucked after that scene. There's no way around it.
Yeah,
you know, it's the people watching this show probably think we are just so easy. Because we all just like, ooh, Kaylin. Ooh, Kaylin.
I ain't saying. That's why Gerald really wanted him to get off that stage.
Any comments on the football game? Anything?
You hit it, Asia. You hit it.
There's a lot of egos.
The only thing with the football game is I like the setup for later, and I didn't like how he was so focused on the game and not focused on Candace. Like she was like, "Oh, babe," hey. He was like, "Whatever, they beat my ass." She's fine as hell. Like I would not be. Yeah, I could lose this game. What's up, babe? Like that would have been me.
Well, he can't get none. He mad at her. He can't get none.
I would have been right there consoling my man.
Mm-hmm.
You be right there on the birth control, or you be just letting them just
whatever you like.
All right, so then later on that night, Marcus, this lame, unattractive ass, is in the jacuzzi. 18 is asleep, and Myami, you know, she got her little lingerie, little set on, or bikini, whatever it was. I don't know what it was. She been naked as hell this whole season. But she real naked on this trip, which I get it. I mean, I take vacation, I get naked too. But damn, I mean, I'm surprised they have not censored her. But she goes out and she tips in the jacuzzi. Can I get in? And Marcus like, let me help you get in. And so they're basically talking just about really much of nothing. But AQ is like over there. I couldn't tell if he was
right there.
I didn't tell if he was sleeping. He was because it looked like he was sleeping, like he was up. But
I think he was sleeping, but he woke up and he just laid there and was being nosy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, any thoughts on this moment? Now, mind you, AQ is dating whatever with what's her name? With Myami. Myami feels away already that he is asleep. She feels like he should be all up in her face, and it is a couple's trip. But I mean, you know, how y'all feel about that? Her mentality, and also her getting the damn jacuzzi with Marcus, like of all people.
Trifling, good for nothing type of sister. All she had to do was go over there and tap AQ or lay down next to him. Hey, wake up. And she got her ass in that pool with Marcus because she wanted to get in that pool with Marcus. She's not going to blame it on that man being asleep. She's trashy. Miami's trashy. She's trashy.
Okay. That was a lot
Yeah.
coming from Sammy. But you heard it first here on Sunday at the League.
Not you leaned into the mic. I can't stand it.
You heard it first here.
It was just tacky.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was giving that Destiny's Child nasty girl. Nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, she's single, but I do agree. Like, damn, like, I agree. That's a good point, Sammy. Like, she could have laid next to him and been like, "Hey, wake up!" Like, everybody has a moment where they lay next to their babe, whatever, boo, and be like, "Get up!" Like, you know, toot it on them a little bit. You know, I don't know.
It was unnecessary. Her actions in that moment were unnecessary, and I understand. Thanks for giving me the room. Unless she was just planning on switching sides, like I don't get doing that in front of somebody, whether I like them or not, on a trip in another country. Like, I'm not about to just set myself up for failure away from home. And Marcus, if you really want to talk to Marcus, he not going nowhere. He in LA. Like, I'm all for, you can homie hop or do whatever you want. Like, do that as much as you want. But the way she did it was, like Sammy said, it was disgusting. It was just trashy.
It's the audacity that he's right there. He could possibly open one eye and be like, but
it was bottom of the girl. Like, ugh. And he ugly. Oh, I'm sorry. He's ugly.
Both of them.
Titty Boy and Marcus. They both
not Titty Boy.
I'm hollering. I can't wait to get to that part. Chase, go ahead.
Chase.
What else is there to say?
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So break. So Becky, Bree, and Ty the next day have a conversation. And Bree is telling Ty how Gerald and Cheryl feel, and that, you know, that's basically where they stand with Ty. And Ty says she doesn't feel like she owes Gerald an apology, but she gets emotional because, you know, people keep wanting her to damn apologize. She gets emotional, starts crying because people keep telling her to apologize, and she feels like she don't want to apologize, and at this point she's gonna probably lose a friend, which is what she's expecting because she don't want to fucking apologize. I found this to be very weird. But at this moment, Becky and Brie are just like, "Oh no, you're a good friend, girl. Don't cry." They doing the wrong shit. Like, what she needs, honestly, is for people to tell her in the moment what's going on right there. She needs multiple people to say it, because what's happening is one person, she go off on them. But if she got all her friends saying it, I think she actually would change a little bit. But Becky and Brie just fell right into her little trap of her little fake ass tears and her wig. And it didn't really go nowhere from the thing. But any thoughts on this part before we get to the actual last part?
I don't have any.
Termites be termiting.
Termites be termites. That's very accurate. All right, so late on that night, Ty and Gerald have a conversation. And this is actually the end of this, which we will pick up, obviously, on episode 9 with this thing. Well, y'all want to talk about it now or talk about it starting 9? Which I want to do.
9.
Okay, so in that case, we're going to pick up on this part of episode 9. Any final thoughts on anything from episode 7 and 8? Because thus far, it's been a wild ride, child.
Mr. Sociopath was perfect. It made the season for me. That's all I got to say. it really did. And I know we anti-Robb with 2 B's, but I mean, fuck both Robbs at this point. But Mr. Sociopath was the best. It was good.
Mr. Sociopath. He put a Mr. in front of that motherfucker.
I think that Robb with 2 B's overstands the assignment. He gets it. He just overshoots it. That's what I think.
And I think Myami she lost all her everything I had for her. She slid all the way down for me. She's just drowning at this point.
Welcome to my side, Sammy.
Not pussy me.
Let's see. In this scene, yeah, I would say that a lot changed for me. Like, I'm not even. Ty didn't get on my nerves this much. So for whoever said we too hard on Ty, hopefully you're grateful, because she won't get on my nerves as much. It was the Myami for me, and it was the Robb with 2 B's. It was them two. The Robb Myami crew.
Frickin' frack.
But soon enough, if you watch the episodes, you know what happens to Robb. Slightly. So on that note, we're going to lay now. Be sure to like this video and subscribe, and then obviously we're going to work on the next video for episodes 9 and 10. Tune into those, or if not, go back and watch the others. Until then, we're gonna get out of here, and we'll see y'all for episodes 9. Okay.
Good afternoon.